Good evening, good evening, good evening. And it's Tuesday night again. And it's the Urban Sentinel Live Show. And what do we do on the Urban Sentinel Live Show on Tuesday night? We interview some of the greatest people in the world, whether they're entertainers, politicians, whatever they do, we interview them. Also, Urban Sentinel Live is a part of the Urban Sentinel magazine. So look, guys, I need for you all to go to urbansentinelmagazine.com, purchase the latest edition for $3.99. You know, help a brother out, okay? This is brother soul income day, so you gotta help a brother out, okay? I appreciate that. That's just a little announcement I had to make. But look, we got a great show in store for you tonight. We got a number of people here tonight that are preparing for the upcoming Funk and Future Festival 2023, which is going to be held virtually and in live for February the 26th, 2023 in Durham, North Carolina, Hartford, Connecticut. So we got a group of people that we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about funk, the funk. I think you all know about the funk. So we're going to talk about the funk tonight. So we got Nicole, we got Tony, we got Zach. Hopefully Mark, the producer, will stay on. We're going to just, for the next hour, we're just going to have a good time talking about funk and talking about the Funk and Future Festival 2023 that's soon to be hitting the streets. So I want to welcome everybody to the show, to the Urban Sentinel Live Show. Okay, now. What's up, Zach?
What up?
Nicole?
Hey.
Here comes Tony. What's up, Tony? Hey, y'all got to excuse my voice tonight. I got a cold, but I still had to do this show today. You know, had to talk about the funk. To give a little funk history before we get started. I've been, I'm old school, so I first got hit up with funk in 1975. I was at North Carolina Central University, homecoming 1975, and the concert was Parliament Funkadelic. And they had the Mothership connection and the Mothership, everything. Man, it was there. It was an awesome show. And, you know, as freshmen in college, just getting on the campus, you know, we were well prepared. Our minds were prepared to go into that show and enjoy that show, if you know what I'm talking about, you know? So we had a great time, you know, and like I still enjoy funk music, you know. I use the app for streaming Live X1, and they have a P-Funk, a Parliament section that you can attach yourself to. So, you know, I listen to Parliament radio. And the thing that has surprised me when I'm listening to Parliament radio is that Funkadelic and Parliament had a lot of albums I had never even heard of before. A lot of songs I didn't never hear of. But by keying into the Parliament radio and being hooked up on that as my radio station on Live X, you know, I'm coming across some new stuff all the time, and I'm enjoying myself. So look, y'all guys jump in. Let's get started. Let's talk about the Funk Festival. You know, let's just have a good time.
Well, ladies
Zach,
first.
Tony?
Nicole, ladies first. Nicole.
Oh, I'm honored. Yeah, man, it's a vibe. So first of all, the Funk and Future Festival is coming to you. Wherever you are, anywhere around the world right now, you are able to tap in. What is funk music? Well, if you don't know the answer to that, you're going to find out. Tap in and get some tickets. You know, worldwide, there are people who enjoy the funk, who remember the funk. There are people who don't know what the funk is. And there are people who have kind of sit in the middle of all those things. This is a concert for you, if that's you. So this is not only a concert, but it's an experience because we're doing something what I feel like is historical, and that is bringing us into a space where not only do we have a live concert going on in Durham, North Carolina, We also have the hybrid event. So it's a hybrid event. You're going to be able to tap um, in the live stream. So you'll be able to join and watch the concert and celebrate the concert. And the artists, our two artists here, our performers, Zach and Tony, and the whole entirety of all their bands, the Nappy Head Funk Army and the New Funk All Stars. You're going to be able to tap into that with people who are like minded. And so be in that virtual concert type of atmosphere. And if you are more like me and you regularly tap into the metaverse, you're going to be able to jump into the metaverse and show up in your avatar. And so what that means is that no matter what you're doing, whether you are on a browser or a PC or you actually have a VR headset, you're going to be able to come to the concert and experience that with your other fellow avatars. And some folks will be able to freeform move, and other folks will be able to use their emotes and things like that to dance and really celebrate and just experience this with people from around the world. So that is what we're really excited about. My name is Nicole Maxwell. I'm the CEO of Max Distro. Max Distro is very happy to present the Funkin' Future Festival. Thank you.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, you know, number 9, Zach Robinson, aka, doing what we do with this funk thing, leader of the Nappy Head Funk Army. Very proud to be the co-pilot with my brother here, Tony Cam, and the Funk All Stars and Earthbound Creatures. But basically, what we're bringing to the table, we're here to pay homage to the Funk Fathers, the best way we know how. And the best way we know how to do that is by helping sustain and keep the funk alive. These brothers like George and Bootsy and Bernie and Skeet and Mike and the ladies Belinda and Dawn and all these beautiful spirits, that Deborah that came before us, and the Boogie Munsons of the world, Gary Shiders of the world, Sly Stone. We stand on their shoulders. Jimi Hendrix, Mother's Finest, and Jerry Say, all these people, man, Janis Joplin, Zeppelin, you name it. We stand on the funk shoulders, and funk is not always just has been a black thing, So funk is a worldwide phenomenon. It always has been. It's just that brothers and sisters started it. You know what I mean? When it comes to this new funk we doing, everybody getting down. Like George said, they don't know how. Should have seen a bull when he funked the cow. Now everybody want to get down. Funk used to be a bad word, but it's not a bad word anymore. We putting it out there like that. We letting people know, listen, these brothers and sisters, 50 years have sustained a segment of the record industry that has made billions, not millions, billions of dollars, as evidenced by the commercials, Atomic Dog, Flashlight, the Bootsy wrote this and that. So again, the industry can capitalize, the world can capitalize. Okay, so now who did the music? Like the Funk Brothers in Motown. Unless you've seen that video, you don't know nothing about them brothers. So we're here to let this new generation of Funketeers, and we love you kids dearly. Trust me, we trust you guys. We validate you. We love you. We're here to let you know, listen, this is how it was done. We were there when it was done. Now we're going to pass as it has been passed on to us. And that's why we do it. We are now passing that on to you. But the way we're going to do it is through something you totally get and understand, which is the meta. So the funk was handed to us analog, and then we turned it into digital. See what I'm saying? It goes from analog to digital. And then now we take that digital and we're bringing it into the meta, the next step. That's the only way funk will survive. I've been blessed totally. Obviously my mentors, I'm a Club Funkity ambassador for Bootsy Patty Collins. I am the vice president. So all you people that are not in the Club Funkiteers, you'll need to get it, because also that is part of the meta. We are constantly changing and moving. Thanks to Max Distro and Mark and all these great people, shows like yourself, all the Funketeers around the world, please support this event. I guarantee you won't be sorry. Go and buy the tickets, buy whatever tier you like, and I guarantee you will be happy. It is a kind of standing in the shadows Motown / kind of documentary that we're doing here with this funk. The brothers and sisters that did it, they all transition it on. We just lost Birth Bacharach this week. So who's going to sustain it if we do not? And what better way to do it than in the meta platform? We need you out there. Yo, we need you. Come join us, man.
Definitely in the metaverse. In the metaverse. The
Yeah.
metaverse. Metaverse.
Right now, so Zach, I realized that through all
Yeah.
the downloads and the way music has always been handled, the money wasn't always right. And those guys, the forefathers and the founders of funk, they probably owed a lot of money, to tell the truth,
Tons,
if it was
tons,
done right. They owed
tons.
tons of money.
Well, the way it's set up and the way that a lot of artists and entertainers, from all walks of genre of entertainment, during those day times, it was very much exploitation. Native Americans were getting exploited, Latin Americans were getting exploited, so it wasn't just black artists, but we too have created such a wide plethora of music. It was impacting us the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Ricky Ricardo could slide through in the 50s. Hey Lucy, so soften that palate. But you couldn't get a black couple to do that on TV, or a black man and a white woman back then, or a Latino woman and a black man. It wasn't happening. But Ricky softened that palate with that Latino thing and made it palatable. See, funk, soul, R&B, rhythm and blues, all of that stuff has never really been palatable. Now listen to these words, until it became profitable. Okay, so it was palatable to us, but now that it's profitable, oh, we funk everywhere. This, that, funk. They throwing up funk, spelling the PHUNK, which I ain't mad at, but you ain't even got no funk artists on there. To this day, I'm pissed at the Super Bowl because ain't no funk artists ever really performed there. Prince was Prince. He's Prince. Chili Peppers, yes, a version of funk rock, but we have to start doing things like this for ourselves because nobody's really doing it. So as we progress and we get with great companies like Max Distro and work with Nicole and Mark and great bands like Tony Cam and New Funk Radio Tour we're doing, and obviously I'm rocking one of the jackets right now and I'll be rocking this for you people that's streaming it live. So who knows, I may even autograph one and give it to you, but y'all got to show up and show out. So we'll see, but that's where it is. That's where it is.
What's up, Mark?
Glad to be here. Glad to be here among my funk brothers, and definitely and the funk sister that's here as well, because she is definitely a funk sister also, and definitely has that great vibe with her and all in that space. There is no doubt about that. But I did have a quick little thing that I was going to ask Zach really quickly, which
Yes,
is
sir.
we got these universities, we got these schools around here, and there are some tremendous musical schools here in the Triangle, but throughout the East Coast. And I know that you sometimes get frustrated. I know others get frustrated as well that they don't acknowledge enough of the music that is part of their legacy. They definitely pay homage to jazz. They pay homage to, of course, the classical music, but I don't hear enough homage to music that I love dearly, blues, or enough homage to the funk. But I'd love to hear your thoughts around that and how we can get them involved in this amazing event that we're going to do. And I see that Tony has rejoined us, so he's got some thoughts about that as well.
Mr. Cam, you want to jump in on that one, bro? He might not have heard the question. Okay, so check it out. So, and then you can ask him again. First of all, the way I see it is that you're absolutely right, Mark, for everything that you said, because it's about how we're communicating. I really do think the opportunities are there. I just don't think we're able to get the message out. Like if you mention blues or you mention whatever, you do a blues radio show and your shows, and there's got to be a different kind of marketing strategy when it comes to the actual word funk, because funk, people automatically think what was. That's why they need to come to this event, because we're going to show you what was, what is, and what will be, all in the same genre. So y'all need to get up on that. First of all, we ain't sleeping, otherwise we wouldn't be with Max Distro, so we're ahead of the curve like with everyone else. Trust me, believe me when I tell you. So I think if we market it and understand, okay, how do the kids see funk? Besides Bootsy Mars, Bootsy Collins, and he did awesome work with Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic and all that stuff that came out, and of course Lettuce and all these bands he's producing. So Bootsy's tapped into it. He knows that's where you got to go with it, right? And I respect the brother and I look up to him. And believe me, y'all notice I model everything I try to do after that man, because he's one of my big brothers and my mentor, amongst others, And it's like when we're able to say, okay, to a young kid, listen, we know you're at Duke University or UNC or NC Central. We know that you don't hear this stuff on the reg. You don't even know where to look for it or find it. So we're going to have to put out as many shows like this and let people know here's how you find it. We're lost in the sea of Spotify. If you pull up funk, unfortunately, you're going to get a song like Parliament Funkadelic. You'll get that. But unfortunately, sometimes you get things like Wild Cherry. You get things like Won't You Take Me to Funky Town? You'll get things like, Uptown Funk, because it's got the word in it. So we got to figure out, okay, that's great. Love those songs, love those groups. But you ain't down in the basement where funk is. You don't smell. If you don't come up stinking, you ain't been in the funk. You got to be like in the grime and grit of the funk. That's where the real funk is. Go see bands like the Funk All Stars. Go check out Parliament Funkadelic. Go check out Gary Scheider. Go check out Mother Funkaholics, Joe Keys and the Late Bloomers Band, the Nappy Head Funk Army. This is where we are. This is where it is. Trust me. If you don't come up smelling like dirt and you go to a funk concert, you ain't had no funk. So these kids now that come to my shows, right? I'm having an issue with why there are no black kids there. We just headlined New Year's Eve, downtown first night, popular venue, the Poorhouse, packed it, sold out. I see 3 to 5 to 4 to 6 black people in a sea of 400 or 500 people. Now, this doesn't make any sense to me because I'm right by NC Central, And so I don't get it. What is it that we're not telling you about your own music that your people help create that you're not really grabbing onto? And see, here's the flip side of that. All you great hip hop artists and rap artists have been sampling the stuff. Right. So it's not like you don't know about it. I don't want to hear the excuse, well, I don't know about it. Wrong answer. Because you know about it, because I hear it in your music. Mm-hmm. So the best way we can do is learn from each other. I learn from you and say, what else can I put in my music to make you gravitate towards it? And you say, listen, I got to have more of an open mind than the hip hop stuff because this hip hop stuff was built on something as well. So there's a communication crossroads that we're at right now. And most of us are doing a really, really good job at it. So we just got to keep at it. I mean, anything worth having is definitely worth banging your head through the wall. So we're going to make this happen regardless, because sooner or later, our voice is going to get so loud through companies like Max Distro that they're going to have to come because they're going to come for the meta. And guess what? When they come for the meta, they're going to get funked up.
We got it. So, Nicole, being that this is going to be the first ever Metaverse concert, how do you get it? And after it happens, we kind of copy you, okay? You already know that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But how do we get the Jay-Z's and the 50 Cents and all those guys to look at what's going on and key in on making funk part of their repertoire? Because you're missing a whole segment of history.
Listen, that's true. When I speak about the metaverse, I'm definitely combining the blockchain Web3 with my version of the metaverse. There is Facebook. Facebook is Meta. That's not where we're going. We're going to spatial. Spatial is the metaverse. It is very closely linking the blockchain, which, I could go on and on about that for years, but essentially it's a way for us to make some change in the future. With the power of the experience in the metaverse. And it's not the first concert by any means. There have been concerts, I want to say not even a couple months ago, Snoop and Eminem performed at one of them award ceremonies, but they were in the metaverse and they performed there. We've seen, folks like Travis Scott, there are folks performing in the metaverse doing one-offs, and they have happened. They've been successful because one thing that folks in the metaverse like to do is party. That is absolutely true. The thing about this that's different, that to me is historical, is the hybrid kind of approach that we're taking, and I'm hoping that captures more attention and that we have spinoffs from this. what we saw when we sat down to really look at like why are we doing this, and how can we do it. What we saw was there were things that were going on that had different flavors of funk, and most of them were R&B and neo soul. They were not traditional funk. And so, we saw a very large concert go on down in Florida and didn't have a single funk artist on the menu. So, we're hoping that through this type of thing, we can solidify the word of funk in the folks' minds there in Durham, who are going to attend the live performance, and then also expose it to the whole world in a way to actually achieve a bigger audience and to reach a broader audience worldwide in the metaverse and through the live stream. So we've got a whole lot of different moving pieces to this particular event. And it's important that, we recognize that this is the first that I'm aware of trying to do something like this in this way. And, we just need people to come out and support. That's the one thing that like I want more than anything, is because we're doing this first of all for Zach and for Tony and for the bands to get out there, but also because we are supporting a group of kids. Funktology.com is where you can go to buy the tickets, and you can see that scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. It's Funktology, and Funktology is the combination of funk and technology. Because, when you look at the mothership that's the highest tech that there could have been at the time. It's a light show. It's a way of life. And right now we're living the mothership because we got UFOs flying over Michigan. So what we doing? That is real tough for right now, right? So, we're just hoping that mothership comes. We're associating it now with the event, so the mothership's gonna meet the metaverse, and y'all can be a part of that with the Funk and Future Festival. So get your tickets at Funktology, which is the combination of funk and technology.com.
Bravo.
Okay. Yeah. Tony. Let's hear
Hey,
from you, man.
sorry about that. I had to get I couldn't hear you guys, and I had to finagle my phone, and then I had to change my glasses because I wasn't cool enough. So now I think we're good.
Look it up.
I think we're good now. I got the greatest of all time.
Yeah, he saw me and he was like, oh, because I do the same thing when I see him. I go back and switch up.
See, the difference is, Zach, I have a day job, and you're an alien, so you supposed to look like you look all the time. I gotta put on the other face for a while to do what I gotta do, and pop on when I can. So hello everybody.
You got to masquerade. Is that what you're trying to say, Tony? You got to masquerade sometimes.
Got to, man. Hey, I'm a chameleon.
Yo, he's an alien too. Don't let him fool you. He's an alien too.
I got to change several times a day.
He's an alien too. I've seen it. Trust me.
Because sometimes Nicole try to get me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can't do it right now because I ain't got the right hair, and I ain't got the right shades. So I can't talk to you. I can't even do a phone conversation because I'm not cool right now. No, I'm lying. I'm cool all the time.
So Tony,
where we at?
About the upcoming Funk and Festival.
Oh man, I wish it was tonight. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the stage. I'm ready to do what we do. Just the pleasure of jamming alongside Zach and the Nappy Head guys. I've come to, that's my new family now. So but yeah, we're ready for that. This is a great event. The brainchild of Nicole and I guess Zach, and I wasn't in on the first meeting, so I'm not sure who to give all the props to, but I know the ones on the screen right now are the props to give to. Hey, Zach, right now I'm looking at you looking like a episode of the Hollywood Squares or whatever.
Right, I'm pointing down to Nicole. She was underneath me. She's my I'm like, that's who you give the credit to right there, that woman, that queen, to her right there.
Brilliant. Sheer brilliance.
Tony, two things. One is, and I know y'all will enjoy this. This is Reggie's show. and all in that space. But I cannot come on a show with you, Tony, and not do at least one other thing because I can have my funk moments as well.
Oh Lord.
Y'all done brought out the fucking.
Only Tony can make you do that.
He did
Only
that,
Tony can make me do that.
he did that to me once before, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're clones. The tone clone here going on. But yeah, it's sheer brilliance what we're doing, what Nicole came up with on this thing, and just to merge just those two things, funk and technology. I mean, got to do it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna turn it back over to Reggie, but I was asking earlier about education and all in that space, and education is very important. I know it's important to you, Tony, as well. So I know we've got these lovely folks that are going to be showing the education of technology, these lovely kids. But I was just wondering because I know both you and Zach are very much big into education. So I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about the importance of this educational element of what's going on as well.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean,
Tony, catch up. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, that's actually Zach and I on a mission right now, and actually we got to talk to Nicole about a future thing that we're looking to do that involves more education of the funk. Here in Virginia, the Virginia Commission of the Arts is actually giving us a grant here in my city to do a School of Funk workshop. Where we're gonna take like 6 or 7 hours of instruction in a room with a bunch of kids with some instruments, hip them to the funk, and then we're going to have a concert that evening. Hopefully another Funk and Future event. So our goal now is to take that brainchild that Nicole has come up with and to utilize it not once, not twice, but 1,000,000 times.
Cookie cutter. There you go.
And all over the country. That's what we need to do. The thing is to get our hands on these kids, and teach them. The technology part is awesome. That's not my wheelhouse though, but I can teach them how to funk, and that's what funk the kids. That's how funk will stick up for 2023. So,
so what? I was gonna say just to tag on. He's right.
I like that.
Get them funked up.
Yep. So that's I'm glad this thing has come along at the right time. Zach and I were already mining the universes, trying to figure out where we can take something. And then this came along. So it's kind of like the universe is working, and this is the time to do it. If not now, when,
It's a blessing.
So Tony, what city are you in Virginia?
I'm in Lynchburg, Virginia. We're in central Virginia, about an hour south of Charlottesville.
Yeah, you're way down there.
You're right in the center. Right in the center. The beauty of us is anywhere in Virginia you can get to in the same amount of time. So we're directly bullseye. Mm-hmm. So, but we're taking funk everywhere. No matter where it's starting, is where's it going? That's
what it is.
Yeah.
To mention what you said about the kids, though, let these kids know, like, funk is, it always has been here. When I used to teach my kids, and I used to work at the School of Rock for a couple of years, at least 3, I used to tell them, hey, this is James Jamerson, this is Louis Armstrong, this is Fats Waller, this is King Oliver. I took them all the way back to as far as I could to the roots. This is, this is, Etta James, and all those people like Mahalia Jackson and Ma Rainey. So my school actually used to frown upon it, but the reason I used to do it is because if you don't know where this stuff came from, you can't possibly stretch your imagination to take what they did and then turn it into something else, because that's all the forefathers ever wanted. That's what music is. Believe it or not, people out there watching don't know that there's only 12 notes. So imagine how much stuff has been done with those 12 notes. So y'all ain't hip to that. I know you might not be, but think about it. There's only 12 notes. So it just depends on from Beethoven to Bach to Brahms to Brown, what people did with George to Patty. What they did with them. Everybody took them 12 notes. And now Tony and I get to take them same 12 notes and do some stuff with Max Distro. And Max Distro, this is dope because it's the perfect storm.
So Zach, where's your home base at?
My home, I'm from New York City. I hail from New York City.
Okay.
You know, born and bred on Bayshore, Long Island, home of the funk. Great people brought me up in it and then moved to, you know, Staten Island and Queens. And, you know, I sheltered myself in this stuff we call music. And I've been blessed to just pass it on, you know. So I'm in North Carolina now. It's cool, you know. Like Nicole mentioned earlier, I found the love of my life down here, so I'm happy. So, but other than that, you know, I'm digging North Carolina because you guys are really very nice and the weather's good, you know. So it's cool.
Good. And Nicole, where you bucking down at?
I'm in Northern Virginia, so you know,
Northern
from Tony's
Virginia.
spot, you just go up.
Yep. She's in the Nova. She's the Nova.
Nova. B&B.
Nova.
So
Northern
yeah.
They taking over in the Nova.
And I think we all know where Mark is. Mark is in the Bull City, Durham, North Carolina.
Down here in Durham, North Carolina, an area that you know a little well, having attended North Carolina Central University. And I know that that's one of the things we want to see is a lot of those folks from North Carolina Central University. You just said that when you were in school that the mothership landed. So I need those kids that are going to North Carolina Central now, some of those that are studying music, some of those that are studying law, some of those that are studying drama, and those are 3 universities that it is known for, but it's known for a number of other programs as well, but they need to come and give that support. It's just a short ride or a short walk up from North Carolina Central University to the Hayti Heritage Center where this show will be at and all of that. So they don't even have to get in their car. They could just start walking up there and can be there in about, what do you think, Zach, about 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk if they're walking at a brisk pace and all in that way. So they just need to come on over there and see this amazing show on a week from Sunday, because it is a short walk or a short ride. Maybe they want to grab one of those scooters, because I know they got scooters on both that campus and Duke's campus, or grab one of their bikes so they can get there however they want to get there. They might even want to catch that mothership and just catch the mothership that Nicole was talking about, because there's all these mysterious ships that are popping up in the sky. So maybe they need to hail one of them. And I'm sure that Zach and Tony might have a direct connection to that ship and can make them make that stop in order to have them visit the rest of the way.
Well, mysterious to some, normal for others.
Now, how do we get a school like North Carolina Central University to develop a course on funk in the music department to make it part of the curriculum? How do we do that? You know, and on other campuses, I mean, Eric Dyson did a course at Georgetown. I believe it was on Jay-Z, and they're doing it in the white schools. Why can't we do the same thing in the black schools?
I mean, we should be able to do that. And there are people that have connections to the music and to the school around here that are definitely created some great music programs and some great music abilities and all of that. But I don't know that even though one of them says that he has a funk band, that they have done enough in the sense of putting the funk music out there. Because I know that Branford Marcellus is here in this area. Definitely Ninth Wonder, who is a great hip hop artist, is in this area. And he's also taught in Princeton. And John Brown, who is the head of the, I think it's the entire art department over at North Carolina Central University, also has his own funk fusion band and everything. So that if he's going to be doing or claiming he's got a funk background, then he needs to do it in his school as well. That's just my thoughts, but Zach might have some other thoughts around that as well.
Yeah, you know my thoughts about it. I'm gonna come clean and hit straight. Like it's about the support. I myself have walked my music into Central University at least 5 years in a row, and they won't play it at all. So I don't know what's about that. And my music is heard around the world. I'm on 26 platforms. It's on P-Funk Radio, the #1 funk radio station in the world, bar none, 18,000 listeners per week. And that's where at least 5 or 6 of my songs are. I personally walk my song in to a show that they have on Saturdays and Sundays, right? And I ain't going to say no names who was there because that's irrelevant. But, you know, they was playing Rick James, Sly, all this stuff that, you know, people that dig the funk Gap Band. And I was like, yo, run my stuff. And it was like, well, we'll get to it, whatever. I got to run around. So, again, I think maybe now this could be, I'm just saying maybe people get frustrated and be like, you know what, they ain't really trying to do right anyway. But that doesn't stop me from trying. I'm just saying maybe that's part of why some artists can't get their music played, because the college radio stations first have to play it. That's the issue I have. If I could get Central to actually play my stuff, then I would go there and do a free concert just because I know my stuff is good. But when I play in Raleigh and I got NC State University and my whole room is full of NC State white kids, I'm like, why won't my people play my own stuff? Because NC State plays my stuff. Because UNC and Mark, you know this, they play my stuff up there at WOCM. So again, my thing is I'm working on the ground floor. I'm trying to even get my music in the door, let alone get in. And then if I got in, I'd be like, you know what? Y'all need a funk program. Let me come in and knock this out. I'm well qualified. Let me bring Tony Cam. Let me try to get Boosie and Patty. Let me try to get some people in here to hip you up to what we're trying to teach these young kids. Because the young kids, if they see me individually, I got them locked down. I got them 5 minutes, they're hooked. But it's the masses. We're not reaching the masses, as evidenced by all of these killings. And I ain't going to get into that.
Yeah, we got to do a better job supporting our own in our own backyard.
Just play my music. Play Tony's music. How can we be on P-Funk Radio, 18,000 listeners per week, and we can't get our stuff played over here at Central University, historically black college? How is this possible?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Zach. What is the stuff that they're playing?
They have a show. They have different shows, like any college radio, and they have a soul funk spot.
Okay, so they have funk, but they don't have P-Funk.
They'll play George and they'll play Boosie now and then.
It's a whole P-Funk is a whole different genre. That's why, though. You know, I mean, we all grew up. Even Nicole, she grew up in the 70s with us. Didn't you, Nicole?
My soul was there.
Your soul was there. But I mean, if you came up in the 70s, you had funk, which was, you know, the Ohio Players, the Lakeside, the Confunction. There were cookie cutter bands that sometime when they came on the radio, you wasn't sure if you heard it for the first time, which group is it? Until they tell you the name, you know, you couldn't tell Sun from Confunction, from Brass Construction, but then there was P-Funk, and it was unmistakable and undeniable, a lane of its own. And that is the difference to me, is that when you talk to people about funk, or you're thinking about if they're playing funk music on their stations and stuff, they're playing funk, yeah, but it's not the P-Funk that we want to hear. And where do you find that? That is the key question.
Tell me, but even when they do play it, and this is just my thoughts, and y'all can tell me y'all disagree or agree with me, but when they do play it, they do the same thing that they do with our history. And this is Black History Month, which is that they might give some certain play into it. So they might grab a hit song of either a George Clinton or a Parliament, but they don't get into the whole spectrum of what that music was. They might hit like one of the two songs, and they do that too often in the commercial stations. Like they said, they might throw in, you know, one of those, Tear the Roof Off the Sucker or one of those other kind of songs, but do they really go into the lexicon of the music that either Bootsy or George Clinton have had? And I know that both of you, Zach, as a member of the vice president of the Club Funketeers, and you, Tony, as a person that has got allegiances with George, that I don't know that I hear enough of that spectrum of that great wide catalog of music that they had.
Sure.
Go ahead. Just let me say this real quick, though, Warren, before I forget. And then, Tony, I'll let you jump in if you want. But yeah, Winston does it because that's where that fraternity is. So all the purple people up there, they know about all the funk. Their radio station plays it. And also, University of Cincinnati, where Bootsy is affiliated with, they play it as well. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and it's the Megan you're talking about it. So I knew who you're talking about. Those cues, they will play it because of certain affiliations.
Right. And NYU University, Terry Terrell had a show for the past 40, 50 years. I don't know if the brother's still alive. He was playing P-Funk back in the 70s on WNYU. So there are a few, but go ahead, Tony.
No. I was pretty much done. I was listening to what you were saying, but that's just my whole thing. I just don't know, like, we're keeping funk alive, but is it? Zach, you and I have had this conversation about a long time. Is it on life support and what we need to do and so forth? And that's why we came up with this new funk concept, because I think sometimes you got to take those ingredients and elements and you got to take it to another place. You got to You got to take elements of it, but then you got to make it a fresh, new sound. I mean, hip hop came from P-Funk. I mean, there's no question about it. The whole hip hop movement, West Coast specifically, was P-Funk driven. It wasn't funk driven. It wasn't about barcades and confunction and those. It was about P-Funk.
Bernie Worrell driven.
and then it became, but hip hop became such a monster. It consumed like everything. There's not a walk of life that you're gonna look around, but you're seeing more and more commercials now that have funkadelic hits from the late '60s and early '70s. Can you get to that?
Yeah, so can you
Stuff
get to
like
that?
that people have no clue as I'm watching TV with my kids and stuff, and a commercial come on, and like, oh, that girl right there, can you get? And I'm like, that's funkadelic. They're like, that's not funkadelic. I'm like, that's funkadelic. So it's like,
Tony, but Tony and Zach, I guess one question I got to ask is, you mentioned hip hop, and I definitely think hip hop has some direct connections to funk, and there's no doubt about that. But one of the things that hip hop talks about is the various elements of hip hop. So hip hop is not just the music; it is also the art, it is also the fashion, and it is I think there's one other element. Oh, the DJs and everything. But when I think of those four elements, weren't those same four elements in funk music as well? And I don't think that people always recognize that connection, because that's what hip hop talks about, is the four elements of hip hop. And it seems to be that those four elements were already in funk music before hip hop came out.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I also think too, we got to remember, hip hop was a storytelling kind of thing. Okay, so when the streets hit and that new generation of kids hit, and they stopped. This is how the shit, excuse my French, actually went down. When they stopped taking arts and music out of schools, kids could not have the opportunity to learn how to play all these instruments. So they had to figure out how to get their voice out. So what they used was what they had: turntables and albums. And then they told the stories of the streets. We told the same stories. It's just that we did it on instruments and vocals. You had all the good, amazing singing groups. You had James Brown. So all of that stuff came from, okay, real instruments, real cats singing. When they took stuff out of schools and budgets got cut and all these things started happening where kids could not learn how to play instruments, the only thing they had was boomboxes, turntables, and cassette tapes. And so they mastered that. So every generation is like, you have to use what you have to get your voice out. Okay. So the way I look at it, like, yes, those elements are and were in everything, but also it's slightly different because I use now hip hop in my music and have been for the past, like, I don't know, 5-6 years. Right. But I'm taking from something that I didn't invent. I just took it and brought it back a notch. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, they could take what I have and then take it up there and then rap on it and do what they want without all the stuff that I put into it. So I kind of think the two have to work hand in hand if we're going to survive. I'm definitely for the future. I definitely love the fact that Funkadelic, I can hear it and be like, oh yeah, that's Can You Get to That, or that's Atomic Dog, or that's Flashlight, or that's this. You know, when I hear, Rick James or whatever, you hear all this music. So it's like the young kids, they ain't going to know unless we tell them. So it comes down to us again.
So Nicole,
we have to tell
them. So Nicole, let's take it. Okay, let's get into the talk about the metaverse. What's going on, then? Talk to us. How did we get here?
Man, how did we get here? That's a long story. We got here, the metaverse, it's the experience of the internet. And so it is the virtual experience of the internet. And there's a lot of different flavors in the metaverse, but that's the simple way to describe it. We got here because some folks wanted to make the future a reality. And it has come out over the last couple of years. It's been, I can't say slowly unrolling. It has definitely came out very, very quickly. And a lot of folks are tapping in, but there's even more that don't know what the metaverse is. They don't know, or maybe they've heard the word, or maybe they've only heard about Facebook's metaverse. And so they think that Facebook is the only one that has made a metaverse and it's out here. But you know what? The metaverse represents opportunity for us to own. And so whether you own a magazine or you own some music and some lyrics, or you are someone who creates contracts and any sort of thing that you do, whether it's a production, anything that you do, you can take advantage of the blockchain because the blockchain seals in permanency into technology. So whatever it is that you have going, you can make use of that and then link that up with the experience that you want people to have with your service or your offering. Come up with loyalty programs and platforms and just all sorts of stuff. But those are what we call NFTs, so a non-fungible token. How do we get here? It's been a ride because we were having a conversation one day, and it's like, hey, I want to do this, and so that was me, Zach, and Mark, and some other folks, and we were all in a room one day, and we were thinking, and somebody said, hey, well, we need to preserve some things if you want to do, the thing that you're working on, and we said, well, let's do an event. Let's do an event that does just that, and it preserves the legacy of funk. What better way to preserve the legacy of funk than with the blockchain that provides permanency? So we are looking at the experience, which is going to be a concert. That concert is going to be heard around the world, not only in the metaverse, but also a live stream. So if you're not ready to dip your toes in the metaverse, that's okay. We thought about you too. We have ways for people to tap in, and the goal is to make sure that nobody's excluded. It is Black History Month, and so we want to make sure that we are honoring all the Black folks who have tapped in and continue to tap in tirelessly, not only in this project but in their day to day, and give people something to have fun with. We go to lectures and we go to different talks and discussions, and we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion until we're blue in the face. Let's have fun. And so that is what this is about. This is even an event that lets us have some fun, as well as honor those, like Zach said, those who've come before us, and more importantly, pass that on to the kids, because those kids are interested in technology and the future. Those kids are going to be on site. These kids are some bad mamma jammas, and if you don't believe me, they have programmed. Not only do they know how to fly drones, so drones, the same kind of drones that are out there shooting up UFOs. These kids know how to fly them right there in Durham, and then also they are programming cyber robots with funk music. And so, man, I just think they're just the coolest of cool. And so we got to have a way to get some people to the Hayti at 3 o'clock on February 26th so that they can support those kids. A portion of our proceeds are going to support the Asymmetry STEAM team. Those are the kids I'm talking about. And STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, entrepreneurship, and math. And so they took a different spin on STEM and STEAM and STERN and all the other kind of that are out there. But they're focusing on entrepreneurship. So this is educating our next iteration of folks who are going to be creators, builders, and small business owners, large business owners, and those folks running enterprises. So we want to make sure Durham is the the healthcare capital of the world. We're going to throw some technology into that because it is also in Durham's world known as the Silicon Valley of the East. And so we want to make sure that they are being nourished and providing pathways for them in the future. So that's how we got here. That whole thing, I just said all of it. That's how we got to go do a concert. And these guys are taking care of the music. I'm taking care of everything else. We're trying to work that out.
It was an easy yes.
I'm really excited because you're taking old school and you're merging it with the future. But at the same time, you're giving the kids an educational voyage where they can take the stuff that they know technology. Cause I don't know nothing about no PlayStation or nothing like that, okay? Because I don't play games. But hey, this is awesome, okay? This is awesome. And then Nicole showed me when we first met how I could take my magazine, I believe, put it into the block, whatever it is, and everything. Mm-hmm. She showed me what I could do. I said, man, wow, I could really do some stuff now, And so especially we can immerse the past, the old school funk with the new technology that's out there and bring something that's great. That's why I say, Nicole, after this concert, people are gonna try to really tap into what you're doing. I mean, you're gonna be a trailblazer, okay? You're gonna be a trailblazer.
I'm buying stock now.
No. She's already under contract for the rest of the year, so we're good.
I know you bought her out, so I got to buy into a piece of you then, because I got to keep a piece of her. I got to buy into Tony,
She's already a trailblazer. There's no doubt about that. But Reggie, I got to tease you about something, because you just mentioned something, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong for saying this, but Nicole, do people even still use PlayStations? Because I thought the PlayStations was something that left sometime back and everything.
Yes. The PSVR 2 is one of the most sought after things that people want. So PlayStation VR headset, they got one. I want one. So if y'all collectively come together and want to give me a birthday present, there you go. They're
March 16th. March 16th. Birthday.
You remembered. There are a lot of really cool things. And yes, PlayStation is still around. PlayStation's doing some outstanding stuff, and I'm waiting for them to come on up for their actual metaverse too. But yeah, they're introducing people to VR and supporting gaming like they always have. So yes, they're still out there.
Glad to know that they're still out there, because I wasn't sure about that and everything. I think that we have some amazing commercials that are out there about this amazing event we've got going on and everything. So Nicole, I think that might be on you, if that's okay, and everything. I know we've got some amazing ways that people need to know what's happening.
Look, let's first start with a trip into the metaverse.
Okay.
Then we're gonna go. Let's go to.
Awesome.
I was feeling that funk. Look at that.
I want to go to all those places right now. Let's go.
Let's go to a message from our very own Zach Robertson.
Universally, from adulthood to the nursery, Funkin' Future Festival is gonna heat it up like mercury. We're gonna slay all the universal sap like Hercules. You're gonna catch our burns like a third degree. If you ain't talking Funk and Future Festival, chill. Don't say a word to me. Verbally, I extend my thoughts to all outer levels to reach all hip-hop rebels. Word to Bam Bam, word to Pebbles, because the excitable, lyrical content keep you happy. Word to Pappy, you know about Funk and Future Festival, the heads that keep it nappy. You're gonna turn the mic up in your Mackie. Let me verbalize my vision that all of us in the universe, we in the same position. To unify our mic cords, our bond together. Psychologically, it's the only way we're going to reach our treasures. I learned from my errors. Funk and Future Festival, we're going to take this thing up to the next level. We got longevity. 23rd, 24th, 25th century, whatever. We're going to stay clever. So keep it right and keep it equal. because this one goes out to all my Funk and Future Festival people.
That's my song.
Zach, before she play the next one, you and I got to do this collectively for Nicole.
Yes.
Her favorite line of all time: "The funk won't hurt nobody."
That's good to know.
That's my part. All right, y'all.
Very sweet.
All right, y'all. Next up, we got a word from Mr. Tony Cam.
We taking funk to another place after George brought it from outer space and put this music in our face. We funking for a new era, getting all in your underwear and ruining your mascara. We going deep, deeper than the motors in your booty. Getting up in that ass, that's our duty. Coming hot and steamy like jacuzzi. You don't want to do me, then sue me. Coming at you with a new funk army like it's Credence. That new groove allegiance. This is that new funk, that now funk, that next funk. You can't phone it in and you can't text the funk. Funkin' is a lifestyle. And like we told you once before, if you got funk, you got style. So come on in and have some funk and a smile. But you better settle in. We're going to be here for a while.
Killed it.
Hey, all up in your underwear.
I know, yo, that was a dope line. Totally dope line.
Right.
Do we have the commercial?
Yeah, we got one more.
Okay.
Funketeers from all over the galaxy are headed to planet Earth for the Funk and Future Festival, a hybrid event celebrating the influence and impact of historic and current funk artists through a technical and cultural lens. Taking place February 26th at the Hayti Cultural Center in Durham, North Carolina. Featuring Zach Robertson and the Nappy Head Funk Army and Tony Cam and the Funk All-Stars in concert and in the metaverse. Tickets available now at funktology.com. Funketeers from all over the galaxy.
Yo,
okay, now. Got it going on. Hey, this is awesome. Well, guys, time has come. We got to go. But I have enjoyed this hour. This has been great, and I'm looking forward to the concert. I'm looking forward to what the future holds, and with our captain behind the wheel, Nicole Maxwell. I know the future is going to be great for the metaverse, and that, hey, we got two brothers here, Zach and Tony. Y'all gonna keep P-Funk alive. That's awesome. That's great. I know George Clinton and Boosie and those guys really appreciate what you're doing to cement that legacy in the music industry, and I know they appreciate it. So look, everyone, we've had a great time tonight. We talked to Zach Robinson, Tony Cam, and Nicole Maxwell. I want y'all to don't forget about, you see scrolling down at the bottom, about the Funk and Future Festival that's coming up. Go to funktology.com/tickets to get your ticket. Be in the house, virtual or live in Durham, North Carolina. And get them goggles they call VSRs or whatever, and put those on and go into the metaverse. And Nicole will definitely give you a good time. So look, guys, I really appreciate it, and I thank you for joining me on my show tonight. And I look forward to keep doing what I can do between now and February 26th to push this and make this an awesome event.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Okay.
Thank you,
Peace out,
Nicole.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
Mark.
good one, man. Peace out. Nicole, you're not a guy. Sorry, Nicole. Peace out to you too, okay?
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, y'all.
Bye, guys. One.